Hi, everybody. Welcome to Watch It or Don't. I'm Tom with Matt and Dan. Today we're reviewing Brooklyn, new movie from director, what is it?
John Crowley.
John Crowley. I'm not familiar
Relatively
with
newcomer for
Okay.
stuff.
Stars Saoirse Ronan as a young Irish woman who goes to America to kind of give life a chance because her life is pretty dull back in Ireland. And she meets this young Italian boy in Brooklyn, played by Emery
Cohen.
Yeah. I've never seen him before.
Oh, so great. This takes place in the 1950s.
Yep.
She comes over, leaves her mother and sister behind, and
Yeah.
she kind of lives on her. She doesn't know anybody in Brooklyn.
Right.
Yep, lives in a boarding house.
It really tells the Irish immigrant experience.
Yeah, right.
Living in this big city, not knowing anybody, but living with a lot of other Irish people in the city.
Right.
Which is, it's why it's kind of a big deal for her to meet and kind of fall for an Italian boy.
Yeah.
Just because it's very much like you stick to your own, we'll stick to ours,
Exactly.
you know. And then partway through the movie, she has to go back to Ireland.
Mhm.
And then we're kind of faced with another potential
Suitor,
suitor, yes, played by Donald Gleason, who's always great. And the whole movie doesn't necessarily have the most conflict. It's not. It's not the most.
She's got all these
exciting
decisions of
There's
what
no-
great life will she have.
Well, not necessarily. Not always great.
I thought both options
All
were
right.
pretty good.
It's a difficult choice though, and there's no real bad guy.
Right. That's why it's a tough choice.
right.
I guess that's,
Yeah.
but still.
However, that being said, it's still a movie that is. It's very nice to watch. It's very pleasant, and it's a good romance movie, you know. And you don't often get kind of the pure romance anymore.
Yeah, and Saoirse Ronan is great.
Yeah,
I mean, she's always
absolutely
been great. She's had a great young career.
Right.
Now, I've only seen her in Grand Budapest. What else is she big?
Hannah was her big
Hannah.
one.
She kind of started in
okay.
Atonement when she was really young.
But her character, she starts out very timid. She's
Yeah.
this young Irish woman, doesn't know anybody.
Shy
By the
girl.
end, she's taking control of her
Yeah,
life.
she's very confident. I mean, very, strong. And
She adapts well to American culture.
Right.
And we see the whole movie through her eyes, basically, and we recognize her challenges. We feel for her, and even though we might not agree with something that she does, we understand it.
Yeah.
I like this movie. It's very beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
Right.
All the characters are great. Jim Broadbent is in this as a Irish priest in New York.
Perfect casting.
I love Jim Broadbent. He's just this nice old man.
Yeah, perfect. You know?
He's great. It really kind of asks this question about what is home? Is it is it this place where people talk like me and there's buildings that I recognize, or is it kind of wherever I make it? And she has to kind of make that decision.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot having to do with kind of home and personal and self identity, you know, and deciding if you're going to be who kind of others expect you to be or who you are growing into, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
And this movie does a really nice job of making it a human story, you know, and it probably a story that is very common for people that came over like she did in that time period.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of good humor in it.
There is.
There's just kind of this almost mindless joy of sitting there and sitting this movie.
It's lighthearted and very easygoing, but it still has meaning. It's not like it's like this one of those feel good, everyone loves this kind of story. It's like
Sam, I disagree with you. It seemed a little fluff to me. I mean, I know I like certain, romances, and there's always a little bit of tragedy, but for the most part, like I said, her decisions aren't that tough. It's either
I don't know.
Well, in terms of her life is pretty good considering other people in that time period. But like you said, for a romance movie, it's very much that sort of it's lovey-dovey, and you know what I mean. I get that part of it, but part of me wanted there to be more of a conflict, some consequences for having the decision between two guys, even though you know what I mean. I feel like there should have been more on the line.
I know you're saying that regardless of the choice, she would have had a probably pretty good life.
Yeah,
but the lives are so drastically different,
Right.
is that it completely changes who she is.
And with it being 1950 in Ireland and America, there's such a big gap there. It's not like when you pick one side, you cut off that other.
And honestly, I was really strong in how I feel about it. But something you said just when I was listening to you, I'm gonna not think so much of it as being the love story, more of what does home mean. I like that interpretation a lot more than just the love story.
Yeah,
I like that a lot more.
I think Saoirse Ronan should be nominated for this. I think she
absolutely
knocks it out of the park.
She's in the running.
I mean, for the most part, the direction and kind of cinematography were good. There were a few times where it was a little too kind of ham-handed and
right.
a little cheesy.
There was one shot that was super cheesy, but the shots of Ireland and New York, like some of them are really well done, I thought.
And maybe it paints them maybe a too beautiful of a light for that.
But right.
It works. It works.
Yeah.
Let's jump into ratings on this.
Sure.
I'm giving this an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I think this is a movie you can really take anybody to.
Yeah.
You can take your grandma. Maybe don't take your kids, but it's not like it's
you could take your kids.
It's not inappropriate.
Yeah, you won't offend anybody.
It just might be a little slow.
Right.
But it's great acting, great character development, great ideas, and beautiful to look at. I really like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go next if you don't mind. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was a good movie. I wasn't necessarily blown away. Some of the shots were very pretty, but I might come to like it more. But as of right now, I just think it was good. Yeah. Like I would take just a random person to see it.
Okay. A random person,
right? Hey, you stranger. Right.
I'm giving this movie a great. All the technical things aside, it's really just a nice movie to enjoy. It's fun to watch. It's really sweet. It looks good. It is just a really enjoyable experience.
Nice. All right.
I don't know.
Well, Brooklyn is coming out in theaters. It might be in some cities right now, but it's coming out
select theaters
more nationwide soon. It'll probably be up for some Oscars. So maybe if you want to be up on your Oscar pool, you might want to see it. Anyway, we got to go. We're Watch or Don't. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.